Welcome to KRA's The Hub, the official podcast of KRA Corporation. And now get ready to hear workforce topics and trends you need to know on the go.
All right. Well, welcome to KRA's The Hub podcast. This is Jonathan Overall, the host of KRA's The Hub. And today I'm joined with Brandon Butler, who is with the Maryland Workforce Association. And we're actually recording this episode today of The Hub just prior to a conference that is coming up that is being put on by the Maryland Workforce Association, the 2025 Raising the Bar Conference. And so I'm privileged to be joined by Brandon. Brandon, welcome to KRA's The Hub.
Jonathan, thanks for having me.
Wonderful. Well, can you start by sharing a little bit about your role and a little bit about what's going into the planning of Raising the Bar this year? And how did you become involved with the Maryland Workforce Association?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jonathan, I've been proud to be the contracted executive director of the Maryland Workforce Association over the past 3 years through my firm, Pinnacle Strategies. But I've not been, I've been a part of the Maryland Workforce Association and the work that the 13 local workforce boards have been doing. I get to work with dynamic leaders like Kirk Murray and Walter Simmons and Anthony Featherstone, Mac Garvin, and really proud of their work and uplifting their work as the executive director. And really, I was previously the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Maryland's Department of Labor. So I was able to see the functioning of the Maryland's workforce system and really focused on building just that, a system that benefits job seekers and businesses in Maryland. Great.
Now, this year's theme, talk to us a little bit about the theme for this year's conference. And was there anything that was inspiration that, perhaps something that's relevant within this year's current workforce or within the region that was part of developing that theme?
Yeah, we don't usually have themes. Actually, it's been something that we're actually trying out this year. And this one just kind of more or less was organically created. This year, Jonathan, as you know, workforce systems throughout the nation are facing challenging times. We owe a reauthorization, budgets, and congressional acts, and a lot of our workforce professionals are doing more with less. And so we wanted to celebrate those workforce heroes. So that's what we're doing. We're literally focusing on our frontline staff who day in and day out work for the betterment of job seekers and businesses, the betterment of communities. And we truly have a lot to celebrate this year. We have the conference, of course, September 8th through the 10th. We have our first day. We've changed this a little bit this year in creating, instead of a pre-conference, we're calling it the Youth Forum. And so that allows us to focus more on in-school youth, opportunity youth, as well as something that's unique in Maryland, the Blueprint for Maryland's Future, and the career counseling efforts that workforce boards and workforce professionals are leading the way in. And thanks to as I said, we have a lot to celebrate. And thanks to the Maryland General Assembly, we are, who have recognized that workforce boards and workforce professionals need to be in the middle of providing opportunities for youth, providing youth with, I like to say, opening the world of work for youth, allowing them to understand their strengths now so that whenever they become, when they leave for college, they don't have to find themselves. They can find themselves beginning in middle school and high school so that whenever it leads to a career path, it leads to an opportunity with businesses in the communities. And so, that's our youth forum. And then 2 days of a fantastic conference. We're really looking forward to providing a lot of great professional development opportunities, a lot of dynamic speakers, And then we're capping it off this year. We're actually doing something a little different. We're capping it off with the meeting of the Governor's Workforce Board that will be at Raising the Bar. I like to say it's a celebration of the 14th board in Maryland, with all of the local workforce boards in attendance as well. So that gives us an opportunity to engage those business leaders, those thought leaders who are on the Governor's Workforce Board, and bringing them into our process, our celebration as well.
That's great. I like the focus on youth, obviously, the future of workforce. That's a conversation that comes up a lot in workforce conferences and within convenings like this, is the future of work. And that starts now. And so the focus on youth is always important. Now, KRA is in Maryland. We do work locally within the region. And this last year has brought, as you mentioned, there are inherent challenges this year with workforce, the uncertainty of the future. But also, you add a layer into that is the federal worker layoffs that have occurred that have really impacted the workforce of many of the counties within Maryland. How would you say that perspective has shaped in any way, if at all, the communities locally that are being served through the Maryland Workforce Association and the focus of this year's conference?
Yeah, and Jonathan, I really appreciate that, and I would be remiss in saying that we really do appreciate KRA and the partnership that KRA has with a number of local workforce boards. They are also a podcast sponsor for this year's event, so we truly appreciate them coming back. This is their second year of doing that, so really appreciate you guys for partnering with us again this year. It is a challenge for the system. I think it's a challenge, an opportunity to work harder to adapt to the needs of federal workers, not only federal workers, but the contractors and really for the benefit of those organizations who have relied on federal funding year after year, and then all of a sudden seeing it just evaporate overnight. It's really driving local workforce boards back to their central focus, and that's being a convener, being that community leader that Marshall supports in our local communities. And so for the Maryland Workforce Association, what we are looking to do is not only have Raising the Bar, but we also have other professional development opportunities throughout the year, things like trauma-informed care, because let's face it, a lot of the federal workers who were laid off by no fault of their own are facing that right now, are facing trauma. And so what can we do as a workforce system to uplift and to meet their needs? I think it also recognizes the fact that job seekers aren't just coming into job centers looking for jobs. They're looking for, they need a holistic approach. They need the opportunities that the workforce system should and could afford them. And so I think, again, it's a challenge for the workforce board to work harder, to buckle down, but also mainly important, be that convener that they're meant to be.
That's great. Now, for somebody who's attending the conference this year, you talked about the pre-con session and some of the things that are coming towards the close of the conference. In a general sense, what would be some of the themes for some of the conference attendees to be on the lookout for in some of the sessions, and maybe from some of the general sessions to the workshops throughout this year's conference?
So we've got a number of great dynamic leaders that are coming in that are going to be our keynotes. We have, for the youth conference, a dear friend of mine. Her name is Dr. Erin Anderson Williams from the Southern Regional Education Board, and talk about somebody that always circles back to the why of why you're doing this work. And so she's going to kick things off that first day. We also have Joy Jamerson, who's also going to be addressing keynote. We're honored to have Senator Also Brooks coming. Of course, she's very powerful on that powerful Senate Health Committee, and give us some perspective of what's coming out of Washington. We have some amazing speakers lined up as well, some powerful workshops around AI. So talk about that future of workforce and what AI means and how workforce professionals can harness AI. I'm doing a workshop this year. I usually don't. I usually just run around and coordinate things, but we're doing a workshop entitled "No Longer the Best Kept Secret." Because, Jonathan, I think now's the time for workforce boards, workforce professionals to stand up, to step up and say, hey, we're here. And not only are we here, but here's all the things that we can do in our communities. I think we've allowed ourselves to be lulled to sleep for far too long that, oh no, we'll sit in our corner of the world and be the best kept secret. And so we're going to utilize some key storytelling, real life storytelling examples of how everybody, not just your marketers, not just not just your outreach people, but everybody can uplift the public workforce system. The other thing I really like about Raising the Bar is that we're learning from each other. It's professionals in Maryland who are learning best practices from their colleagues and innovations from their colleagues throughout the state. So it's not just I'm pulling this thing from Kentucky and hope it works. These are key workforce professionals who are already doing it within the system in Maryland.
That's great. I love conferences like this because the topics that are discussed really help to inspire and add context, but also the environment, just being in an atmosphere where you can network and learn from other individuals. And I'm sure as you talk about the agenda and some of the topics when you're planning a conference like this, there were probably some takeaways that you would hope that the attendees can receive and then take back to their local workforce boards and their teams. What would some takeaways be in terms of your desire or goal from this year's conference for those who attend?
Yeah, so one of the things I really like about Raising the Bar is really unique in that it's fun. It's a fun atmosphere. We have it feels like a family reunion in a lot of respects. You'll run into your crazy cousin, I'm sure. But this is a chance for workforce professionals to breathe, to get out of that day-to-day grind and a chance to reflect and a chance to learn. And so we're really excited about this. We're also with the association this year doing a couple things that are new. We always like to try to challenge ourselves. The last year's conference sold out, and that was great. But we're always looking for other opportunities to better ourselves, to get more bang for our professional development buck, if you will. And so we have a couple things. One, we're going to be offering continuing education hours for every attendee. So those attendees who need it, we're partnering. We'll be announcing here shortly, and by the time this podcast is out, I'm sure we'll have it out. A partnership with Allegany College of Maryland, a community college that is going to be doing the tracking of the continuing education hours for Raising the Bar participants. We also have sessions that have been tracked with CWDP requirements. So we're really proud to partner with NADUP again this year on that. Actually, NADUP's been a great partner, but this is the first time that we've been able to track those competencies. The other part that I really like that I'm really proud of is we're working with a group called 60 Pershing Street. And that is a social media marketing firm that's located in Western Maryland. That is in partnership with Allegany College. So what that does is a few years ago, a client of mine actually came to me that was a part of a local bluegrass festival in Western Maryland called Delfest. And he realized that during the pandemic that there's been a lot of social media marketers who, one, you can't find them for the right price. And so what he was looking to do is partner with a local community college to create a program and then create internship opportunities in social media marketing. So you have students from Western Maryland who are literally influencing right now the Grand Ole Opry a offshoot of Sony Records, a number of festivals throughout the year, and they're going to take over our social media marketing for Raising the Bar. So they're not only doing that, but they'll be running around and doing all of our videography and that too. So I like it because we are a workforce association that's supporting workforce development as well as a training opportunity literally at our conference this year. So we're very, very excited to have them. And I think there's a lot more to come about seeing the workforce system through their eyes as well.
That's a great opportunity, great rate of partnership as well. And to see the benefit for those that are going through the program, as well as enhancing the experience at Raising the Bar also. Well, Brandon, before we close, I want to give you an opportunity to share with our audience, especially those within Maryland, ways that they can learn more about what the association does, and what's the best place for them to connect? Would it be the website?
Yeah, absolutely. You can visit our website, marylandworkforceassociation.org, or hey, look us up on Facebook. We'll have a big social media push, facebook.com/MD Workforce Association.
Well, I look forward to this year's conference. Brandon, as you mentioned earlier, KRA is the podcast sponsor. I was there last year, and it was a great event. The energy level, the vibe, the ideas that were shared, not only just in the podcast, but during some of the sessions that I had to attend, were amazing. So great job with that. And I know that as much and even more effort went into to this year's conference. And I look forward to that and look forward to connecting with you in person in the podcast zone and as we're in and around the conference this year.
Well, Jonathan, look forward to seeing you real soon, bud.
Thank you for joining the Hub.
Thank you for listening to KRA's The Hub. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. To learn more about KRA Corporation, visit www.kra.com. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll be back soon with a new episode.